Customers are loving our quilting backdrop series, but you might not be familiar with just how versatile they are. I am here today with our education manager, Sheldon, who is going to take you step by step into making this little pillow and show you how it's done. So Sheldon, take it away.
First of all, I have to say, I loved making this because I'm a very lazy sewer. I'm gonna show you some great tips on how to make a cute little project like this very easily, very fast, and it's gonna come out perfect with a great envelope closure. Customize it however you want, but quilting backdrops, I've fallen in love with them. If you haven't used them, if you haven't purchased them, purchase at least one. Download it, you'll be shocked at how many files you get. You get Quilt As You Go files, they give you the placement, tack down, and then you get just hoop fillers that are just the quilting. And I'm gonna show you both today because I use both in this project and it makes it so easy.
And tell us what hoop fillers are real quick.
Hoop fillers are literally you put your batting and fabric in your hoop and you choose the size of hoop you're using, and the quilting design fills that entire embroiderable area of your hoop.
When we've put out quilting designs in the past, customers have said they've asked for that. You just have whatever size fills the whole hoop. So we made these to fill all of the universal hoops for people that just want to have a large area and just cut it up and chop it up and do whatever they want with it. So we do have a ton of files included in each one, and you can use them in a bunch of ways. And I'm going to turn this over to you.
Yeah, so we're just going to go step by step through this, show you how simple it is. So I'm starting with the 5x5 squares that are the Quilt As You Go. So that's gonna give me a placement and tack down for my batting, then a tack down for my fabric, and then the quilting stitching. And for the first 3 steps, this is a big tip I'm gonna give you guys. Put a bobbin with colored thread in your machine, because that's gonna show on the back of your project, and we'll show you how important that is in just a moment. So I have it all loaded on the machine here. I'm doing the 5x5 size of the sunflowers quilting backdrop that is coming out. And we're just gonna run that. You'll get to see the whole process, and it will show up once we start putting the fabric on. Okay, now that we have our placement line for our batting, we have our Lofty Soft batting, which is an amazing product. We're gonna place it over, make sure it covers the whole area.
Yeah.
And go ahead and start your machine again. This will be the tack down stitch for your batting. And it's going to go around your batting twice so that it's nice and secure in the hoop. And when you're trimming away, if you snip a couple stitches, it'll be fine because you've got 2 rounds and it's going to be nice and secure on your stabilizer.
And this is our new batting, the Lofty Soft, and it is a dream to trim away. You don't have all that pilling and the fuzzies.
Oh yeah,
it's so nice.
The inside of your machine is so much cleaner than a regular cotton batting. Yeah, because there's very little lint. It's
excellent
so
for
incredible.
embroidery.
Oh, it's
excellent
the perfect
for embroidery,
product for embroidery. I'm just going to remove that from the hoop or from the machine. Take it over here. Do some quick trimming with my applique scissors. And you want to get close to that stitching. And if you're not super neat with this, that's okay because you're going to cover it with fabric.
Now with all of our quilting backdrops, our tack down line for our batting and then the tack down line for your fabric is offset a little bit. So when you sew them together, you don't catch the batting in the seams.
Right. We'll put this back on the machine and place the fabric we're going to use over that. Now when you do this, you want to make sure you have at least a 1/2 inch around the entire area. I say go with 1 inch because we're going to trim that down to a 1/2 inch on all sides.
Great.
And here we go. So again, 2 rounds of tack down stitching for the fabric, just like with the batting. It's going to be just a little bit outside of the batting, about a 1/16 of an inch.
Just enough for you to have those guidelines when you're sewing them together, which we'll show. So you can stitch them together right in between those 2 lines. It's a great visual for you. Yep.
And then you also don't have the bulk of the batting in your seam allowance.
Yes.
So your seams aren't going to be super thick. Also, a great reason why we're using the magic mesh, keeps your seams really thin if you choose not to cut that out.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got our tack down, and we're not trimming this, but I am going to show you a little hint here, a little tip. So I've used, as I said, a different color bobbin in the first 3 steps of this design, so I can now easily see that bobbin thread, and that'll come in very important at the end when I go to sew these together. It gives me a nice lane that I can just racetrack right down when I'm sewing these together. But I am going to switch out that bobbin at this point to a white bobbin. And now we just run the quilting backdrop, and it's going to fill that 5x5 area with this beautiful sunflower design. And that's going to run for about 2-3 minutes.
Great.
The entire 5x5 area is filled. So at this point, that block is done. We would take it out of the machine, take it out of the hoop. You can see we've got beautiful stitching. It's completely filled, but it's not super dense, but it holds everything together. We still got our beautiful driving lanes on the back when we go to put this together. We're gonna unhoop this. And the first thing I would do at home is I wanna trim away this excess batting. Now, I'm sorry, that's a stabilizer. Now you don't have to, especially with the magic mesh, because it's so thin and flexible. You can leave that in your seam allowance, but I like to trim it out.
Yeah, me too.
So you can do that with a rotary cutter, or you can do it with scissors. And we're gonna quickly remove the bulk of that. Be careful not to cut through your project. So typically I would have this and I would lift from the top and pull my project away, because I'm not going to want to cut my fingers. So naturally I will cut outside of my fingers, and that's going to protect my fabric from getting cut. All that excess stabilizer.
I love this mesh, it's so soft.
Oh, it's beautiful. It is a dream to work with, but it's still so strong. It holds stitches beautifully. And then we would trim this to a 1/2 inch from that outside line. And then you would press it and set it aside. For this pillow, I did 4 of those. On one of them, I added a design. This is from the Chunky Thanksgiving collection that's releasing. It's just a wonderful, wonderful design. And I just added that to one of the blocks, put it at an angle. For this one, I did reduce it 5%. So if you're out there taking notes, 5%, 45-degree angle, fits in that 5x5 block perfectly. And I just did that reduction directly on my machine. Almost every machine can do that. And you don't have to
we always say to maintain the integrity of the design, you never do it more than 10-15% max. We have multiple sizes we include, but you can fiddle with them a little bit. So I would just make 4 of those, and then here's where those driving lanes come into play. Here you can see I used red bobbin thread when I put this together. I've got 2 squares. You line those up, you line up the stitching lines on the front, clip them together, and then you just run right down the middle of that lane. And it's so easy to see when you're sewing. And as long as you're inside those 2 colored lines, you're not going to have any of that placement or tack down stitching showing on the front. Fits together perfectly.
It's incredible. So I did that for the front. For the back, here's where I use the hoop fillers. Because I am a lazy sewer. I don't like to have to sew a hem. I just wanted it to be done. I used the largest hoop filler we have, which is 10.5 by 16. And I put that in my largest hoop. I did put some fusible woven on the back of here. It's a Pelon SF101. And I hooped magic mesh. And then I just laid my fabric in the hoop. I did do a tack down.
So no batting on this?
No batting, no other stabilizer. And then I just used the hoop filler, filled that entire piece of fabric. I did 2 of these. Now, there's a little fabric waste here, but again, I'm a lazy sewer, and I would rather put my money into that than taking the time to sew ahead. Then I just fold that in half, and now I have one of my envelope closures. So I did 2 of that. Let's turn this back inside out, inside out. You can see.
Now, for those that I know there are some that are going to be worried about the waist, this is Sheldon's preference, and half of us have that preference, and half of us might want to conserve. So the other piece, you can have the raw edge because it will be on the inside.
Absolutely. Or, I mean, there's enough here. You could do this.
Yeah.
Cut it in half, put a hem on the edge.
Correct, yep.
And you still have the same thing. I just wanted it all finished on the inside. And, oh my gosh, am I doing this? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we're back inside out. Then I just layer one envelope backing on half of it.
Yep, with the folds
With
facing
the fold
down.
facing in. Then I do the second one on top of that. They overlap, these overlap about 4 inches, which is way more than you need. Really about inch and a half, 2 inches
Yeah.
is what I generally go for, but I had it all there and I wanted it nice and secure.
Pretty much the same closure that we use on our mug rugs and the pot holders and
Absolutely,
everything
yes.
else. It's called an envelope backing.
Yes. And then clip it all together, turn it to the side here again with my red stitching, and I've got those driving lanes. As long as I'm sewing in between.
And this is after you've stitched the 4 together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as long as you're in between those lanes on the outside,
I love it. The driving lanes.
it's all
I'm
done. Yeah.
gonna say that from now on. The driving
Exactly.
lanes. Great.
And then you just turn it out,
Clip your corners.
clip your corners, trim everything to a 1/2 inch. If you want a little bit less, go a little bit less. And of course, I would do this much nicer at home with a turning tool and all that. But you get it turned back, and then this particular quilting backdrop fits a 10 by 10 pillow form, and you've got a
A
cute
little
little
pillow.
pillow for Thanksgiving in the fall.
Cute. I love it. And now, with all of these sizes, you have to use your imagination, but it's
So
limitless.
versatile, so versatile.
Yes.
And all the sizes fit together. They also coordinate with all of the modular projects that we have for in the hoop. So you can use
Right.
those interchangeably.
And because we have like the even sizes, like exactly 4 inches, 5 inches, 6 inches, then we have like 4 by 6s. So you can pretty soon make your entire own layout of anything
Absolutely.
that you choose.
Yeah.
You can literally design your own in the hoop project.
Absolutely, yeah. And it makes the math so easy. There's no half sizes,
Right.
there's no quarter inches, just whole numbers.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. Thank you so
Yes.
much for that.
Except on the hoop fillers, which of course, which is for a different purpose to.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And the quilting only files, we made those so they would fill and maximize the hoops. But for the quilt as you go, where you make all of those pieces, they're puzzles. It's like a puzzle.
Yeah,
You can,
exactly.
Like Legos or something, right?
Yeah.
Like you just can.
And they all work together. And you don't have to use an envelope back on your project. You can close up your pillow however you want. You could completely close it up, hand stitch it at the end.
Put a
However
zipper.
you want to do that. I just like to be able to take them off and wash them. And
Nice.
the Lofty Soft is perfect in here. It gives me just enough structure and softness. The quilting really shows.
Yes. I do
Absolutely
love that with the
wonderful.
Lofty Soft, how you can
Yeah.
really see the puffiness.
Yeah,
So-
it's incredible.
Great.
So fun little project using the quilting backdrops. Incredibly versatile product. When you buy it, download, see all the design files you get. It's incredible.
I don't even know off the top of my head. But
I don't know, it's a
there's like
lot.
a 40 or something. There's a lot.
Yeah, it's incredible. So,
Thank you so much for showing. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much for being
Thanks
here
for
today.
having me, Julie.
Okay, great.